Currently, we are pretty much wrapping up the animatic phase of Singularity. Animatic is pretty much the process in the beginning of a film where you kind of have to find your bearings with the story. You might have a script, but then you need to turn it into something visual. So that's either a storyboard or, some crude mock-ups in 3D. So that's the process that we have now stopped. Hjalti finished the last shots that we wanted to tweak.
Andy did like a perfectly good first pass of the previs, but it's missing perhaps some of the acting choices and whatnot to kind of fill in that information. I worked on the beginning when we get introduced to Critter, when shit hits the fan and his little world of rocks gets pulled away, so how he more frantically needs to get away from that situation. I worked on the scene where he gets maybe, spoiler.
So now pretty much we're not gonna add any more new shots to the film. The timing is roughly locked and there's no more big surprises. Now we are basically doing character design, environment design, and we figure out the style of the whole film. Vivian has been designing the main character, Critter. That has pretty much transitioned over to Julian, making the full model of the character, and that model is going to be passed to Demeter, who is going to rig it. At the same time, I'm trying to design the sets, which are giving the basic structure to the shots. Basically, you have a whole layout of stuff. In our case, it's the ice belt, which is a setting in the beginning of the film. That set will house the individual camera angles of the beginning of the film. It's pretty much a sort of technical / artistic process because we need to turn all the camera angles and all the mock-up sets into pieces that can be moved around, rearranged, and have enough flexibility so we can tweak each angle to be clean and have nice staging to it. Hopefully we're going to have much more exciting visual stuff to look at very soon. If you're more interested in this whole process and our whole pipeline around it, check out the Blender Studio website where we're documenting this whole thing every week.
Only the typical spot where it gets kind of bad.
It's not amazing already, like 30.
It's like there it gets a bit. No, it's actually usually above 30. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then around.
So this is our low-end spec on Steam?
Right now I only turn shadow quality to low.
No, I mean.
We are still wrapping up Dogwalk. There's plenty of improvements happening on that front. And we finally have a Steam store page. So you can actually go there and wishlist the game right now. We're still aiming for a release date in July, around the release of the next Blender version, with a new splash screen that really matches nicely. Apart from that, a bit of editing for a trailer, since if you put a Steam store page up, you have to have a trailer.
So I've been working on ironing out some of the more crucial bugs that we still have, because we want to have a nice Steam release at some point that everybody can just play the game for free. There were some really interesting bugs popping up where some things would work perfectly fine, but then all of a sudden when we make an export from Godot to put it on the Steam Deck, the game would just explode, but should all be fine now. It's reasonably fast. I even had some time to squeeze in some visual little bits to make the leash a little bit more realistic, so there's some sag to it and like falls on the ground and wobbles a little bit when you max out the length.
As always, until we actually release the game, you can download the latest version of the pre-release game that you can play, and also the latest version of the source code on studio.blender.org. Please support us, give us a bit of money. The final game project will be free on Steam once it releases, but this gives us a little bit of a support structure for all the work that we've put into the game.
No. For gold, they're like tiny stumpy toes.
That's a different project.
Yes, I know. And this time I made them more realistically long to make at the border of making them creepy, and now they're too long.
We'll never do better than Phil's feet.
Phil is a bunch of sausages stacked on top of each other. He's perfect.
Show me the toes.
Fine, I will show you the boy's toes. Here, he even has sandals.
Oh.
Toes are exposed.
Why is this
Exactly.
like one line? It shouldn't be one line. You know what I mean?
Julian,
Yes. You found
I
it.
think I found a way to fix the issue.
Oh.
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 It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh.
Otherwise, just jumping on discussions for the character project Storm with the kid. We've been talking about the hair dynamics with the Geometry Nodes developers specifically.
So we have the sculpt, we have the design. The thing that was really missing was some cleanup on the hair. And that's a bit tricky because we want to leave ourselves a bit of options with the hair to maybe convert it to strands, to have a proper groom and to even simulate that. Hair simulation is going to be a bit of a topic for Blender development soon-ish. And using the Storm character model for that would be really nice. I am currently sculpting the hair to ideally work with that. So there are a lot of these individual clumps and volumes of the hair, and we want to have it in a way that these bigger volumes can be animated manually with bones as a mesh, and that should still look good. And for that, it needs to make sense, all of these different clumps, how much volume they take up over the head and that they don't clip into each other too much. So that requires quite a bit of thought.
We've done some final tweaks on the prototype, which means we're testing the rigging on a separate model to try out different techniques for deformation. I've mainly tested the mouth rig, and previously I tried a lot of shape key based deformation, and I wanted to try a more ribbon based or curve based setup in combination with corrective shape keys. When you combine bone deformation with shape keys and want to have the bones also follow the deformed mesh, you quickly run into dependency cycles, and currently there is no way to solve that in the depth graph in Blender. I've been talking to some developers to see if there's a workaround for this, and currently there's not, but that conversation has started, and therefore I'm trying to apply different approaches to rigging with shape keys, but having a bone setup as a base. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes. There are a lot of bugs. So.
Yep. Publico went home.
Top secret. I was working at Top Secret. Thank you. I've been working on Cowboy storyboards. I'm close to finalize first pass on everything. I've been working on the fight. Some of the stuff I had to translate them from still images from the thumbnails to animation. I had to flesh out what the action was gonna be because the drawings, they were really rough, like the thumbnails. I've been putting just the cowboy in T-pose or in A pose, and I'm just driving him around just to come up with the action itself and with the choreography. And later I will do the draw-overs. Maybe if it's not this week, next week, I think I will have like a final pass on everything. The idea is he's gonna be fighting enemy that is called the Butcher. It's enemy that is not designed yet, so for the moment it's a blob. He has like a cleaver that he throws, and then he can bring it back. It's a like kind of magnetic cleaver. Yeah, there's still designs that have to come and everything. I'm working a bit blind, but at least the action is there and the bits are there. And to show my success. It's a Father's Day. Like this, my kids can see that I wear them. That you rock. I do, actually. Yes, and cut! And cut!
Make sure to sign up to the Blender Studio membership on studio.blender.org. Every cent matters. We need the money. Thank you.